As President Trump continues his crusade of baseless election fraud claims, he seemingly called for a halt to the high-stakes Georgia Senate runoff races just weeks away. He tweeted yesterday, quote, "Do something, Governor Brian Kemp. You allowed your state to be scammed. We must check signatures and count signed envelopes against ballots, then call off election. It won't be needed. We will all win." Oh, my God. The Associated Press notes that some establishment Republicans are sounding alarms that Trump's conspiratorial denials of his own defeat could threaten the party's ability to win the Georgia races. Willie?
And Mika, here's that moment I mentioned earlier. An election official in Georgia calling on President Trump and Republican senators to denounce violent threats leveled against election workers there. Gabriel Sterling, a Republican who is Georgia's voting system implementation manager, made the impassioned plea from the state capitol yesterday after weeks of harassment directed at him, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his wife, along with others working on recount efforts in Georgia, many of whom now have around-the-clock police protection.
I'm going to do my best to keep it together because it has all gone too far. All of it. Joe diGenova today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot. A 20-something tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions. This has to stop. We need you to step up, and if you're going to take a position of leadership, show some. My boss, Secretary Raffensperger, his address is out there. They have people doing caravans in front of their house. They've had people come onto their property. Tricia, his wife of 40 years, is getting sexualized threats through her cell phone. It has to stop. This is elections. This is the backbone of democracy, and all of you who have not said a damn word are complicit in this. It's too much. Yes, fight for every legal vote. Go through your due process. We encourage you, use your First Amendment, that's fine. Death threats, physical threats, intimidation. It's too much. It's not right. They've lost the moral high ground to claim that it is. I don't have all the best words to do this because I'm angry. And the straw that broke the camel's back today is, again, this 20-year-old contractor for a voting system company just trying to do his job. Just there. In fact, I talked to Dominion today and they said he's one of the better ones they got. His family's getting harassed now. There's a noose out there with his name on it. It's not right. I've got police protection outside my house. Fine. You know, I took a higher profile job. I get it. Secretary ran for office. His wife knew that too. This kid took a job. He just took a job. And it's just wrong. I can't begin to explain the level of anger I have right now over this. And every American, every Georgian, Republican and Democrat alike, should have that same level of anger. Mr. President, it looks like you likely lost the state of Georgia. We're investigating. There's always a possibility. I get it. And you have the rights to go through the courts. What you don't have the ability to do, and you need to step up and say this, is stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence. Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get shot. Someone's going to get killed. And it's not right. I'm talking about Senator David Perdue and Senator Kelly Loeffler, two people whom I still support in the election booth, but they need to step up on this particular thing. And that's me speaking as a Republican, not in this office, because I've probably stepped out of line, but I'm kind of pissed. They called for us to resign, and frankly, when they called for us to resign, the president called the Brad Raffensperger, who was a fine, upstanding, lifelong Republican, an enemy of the people, that helped open the floodgates to this kind of crap.
So how did those senators respond? Senators Loeffler and Perdue responded with separate statements condemning the violence, but they stopped short of supporting the state's certified results. Meanwhile, President Trump continued to call the election, quote, rigged in a late-night tweet, while in a statement, a spokesman for the Trump campaign said, in part, no one should engage in threats or violence, and if that has happened, we condemn that. So, Jonathan Lemire, let's be clear who that was. That's Gabe Sterling, who runs the voting systems in the state of Georgia. He's conservative, he's a Republican, he's a Trump supporter, as he has said many, many times. Same goes for the Secretary of State there, Brad Raffensperger, effectively making a plea, a very explicit plea to Donald Trump to turn down the temperature, knock it off before somebody gets hurt or worse. And the president actually quote tweets that clip in its entirety, which we just watched, and says rigged election, digs in deeper. We have a man there who supports him, asking for some mercy and getting that instead from the president.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.